All right. We are live.
All right, welcome to the Dynamo post-game show here. It's obviously on YouTube.
YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all the above.
Where do you sign up?
Huh?
Where do you sign up? Tough night tonight. Dynamo go down to Toronto FC 1-0 in this one. They outshoot Toronto 19-9, only 4 shots on target. I think the issue still remains chance creation and goal scoring. Toronto came in here to stay into this game in a mid-block at the start. Got out of the first half at 0-0. Got the one goal they needed from Prince Owusu, who, frankly, I don't think controlled the ball the whole night, but off a corner, beat everybody in the air at the back post, and didn't seem like people were very alert there, lack of concentration, and that's the one goal that Toronto needed, and they saw it out. I didn't think they could see it out. They did. Dynamo had 72% of the possession, 20 crosses to 6. You know, we can go on and on with this data. 14 chances created to 7, 54 final third entries, yada, 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 7 corners. Can't get the goals. Ezekiel Ponce had 38 touches, 6 inside the box. Only 2 shots over the course of 90 minutes as a center forward. It's not an easy system. It's a difficult system for a center forward, and you're going to have to play with your back to goal. Lawrence Anali came on. Brad Smith came on. Sebastian Kowalczyk, I think, was the most dangerous player off the bench tonight. But in the end, it's TFC who gets out of here. They only have 7 games to go. They needed 3 points. They've only won on the road 3 times. Now, the Dynamo at home, this is a real concern if you're thinking about the playoffs, because the Dynamo at home now are 4-3-5. 12 games, you've given away points in 8 of them. Okay, whether from a losing position or a draw. It has to be a real concern here. If you're looking big picture, I mean, I think the Dynamo are going to make the playoffs, no question. But they're still trying to figure it out. I don't think it's a step forward tonight for Ezekiel Ponce. I think the system is tough on him and any center forward. Ben Olsen actually went with 2 center forwards at the end of this game. He brought in Sebas Ferreira as well. But this is disappointing. You know, you can say whatever you want. You're in a good position still. You still have 5 more home games, 4 on the road. It's a tough loss here tonight. I don't think you can sugarcoat it. You got to be a little bit disappointed, whether it's 2 weeks off or not. They were off 2 weeks as well. And you're going to LAFC now. And we'll see how interested LAFC will be after playing in the Leagues Cup final on Sunday.
As the standings sit right now, Houston currently sits 8th, 37 points, tied with Portland. Austin, 34 points. They sit in 9th, last playoff spot. So everything from 8 to, say, 11 is pretty tight. So
where do the Dynamo go to now?
Dynamo fall to 8th.
Whoa,
yeah,
it's dangerous.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's see this. It's a big night of results now. Dynamo on 37 points. So you went from pushing for a top 4 place in the blink of an eye. And this is how it's going to be with Major League Soccer now at this time. Every weekend, results
I do want to see something.
Comparatively throughout your conference are going to change things dramatically. So the Dynamo go from 6th to 8th. They drop 2 points, 2 positions here tonight.
You know what's actually a shock is how quietly good LA Galaxy has been. I just noticed, they're sitting on 50 points.
Good year, made some good changes. Yeah. They've advanced under Greg Vanney. I mean, they got a legit playmaker in Ricky Pooch. What do you got out there? Anybody who's viewing this post-match podcast?
I'm going to rifle off some scores real quick.
You can, sure.
All right. Yeah. Seattle coming back, beating Minnesota 3-2 in Minnesota. New England scorefest 5-0 over Montreal. Charlotte and New York Red Bulls 1-1 draw. DC United losing at home to FC Dallas 4-3. Inter Miami winners 2-0 over FC Cincinnati. NYCFC 2-2 to Chicago. Austin up right now in the 90th minute. The game's almost final. 2-0 over Nashville. Sporting Kansas City 3-0 winners over Orlando. San Jose's beating RSL at home 2-0. LA Galaxy, Atlanta United, 0-0, and that's in the 4th minute. And then Portland Timbers, St. Louis City, 0-0, and that's also in the 4th minute.
All right, so let me say that JL says, same movie, fundamental flaw in construction of the roster. You can't depend on only one player to provide all of the team's goals. Well who is that? Aliu? Because he's the leading goal scorer with 6. I don't know who that is. They don't have a singular goal scorer. It's usually by committee. And like I've said repeatedly, this system is not easy for a number 9. You are playing with your back to goal a lot. You only get width early from Aliu on the left. It's a different kind of system. It's not easy for a center forward. I mean, Ezekiel Ponce only had 2 shots here tonight. Fan of the we're back Dynamo. All I've got is frustration, Glenn. Yeah, I think it's frustrating because, the Dynamo keep the game narrow. Defensively, it's good. Their possession's good. They play well in tight areas. It's very tough. And it's narrow. And it is a system built defensively first, based on the positions of the players, based on the inverted nature of the team, and the possession. It is a defend-first system. There is a missing ingredient lately. I know Ben comes on your show and doesn't subscribe to the meaningless possession theory, but teams seem more willing to absorb pressure. Well, I think that's a very good point because I think if you don't think the Dynamo can hurt you from a goal-scoring perspective, you may think you can come in here and do that. Now, on other occasions, I've seen the Dynamo respond to that. But, yeah. Emilio Perez Arce, the team is still trying to learn Ponce. What does that mean? He's playing a lot with his back to goal. I get that. It's only 4 games for him. But we see what kind of a striker he is. But we don't see him facing the goal a lot, Emilio. It's a lot with his back to goal, coming back into midfield, tight combination play. It's his work when the ball's lost. Tonight, the Dynamo played this game in the half of Toronto FC for the whole time. Toronto FC only had 28% of the ball. They didn't want it. They got their 1 goal. So I guess I would say, yes, you're correct. They're still trying to learn Ponce. And Ponce's probably still trying to learn the system. Ben Olsen said that both Ponce and Ali had a great opportunity in the 2 weeks here to get more ingrained into the system. But learning it or not, when you don't have a lot of space as a number 9, it's not easy. Even the best teams struggle when teams sit back and wait. Our midfielders need to be a threat to score. Okay? Fair enough. Remember, the Dynamo style is pretty methodical. It's not very transitional. Every once in a while, but it's methodical. So it does allow teams to sit back and wait. They came out in a mid-block tonight, I think, and dropped deeper at times. There were times when they were dropping so deep, the coach, John Herdman, was on the bench yelling for them to move their line higher up the field. It's a new offensive style for Ponce in the attacking front. Okay? It's not a new attacking style for the attacking front. It may be for Ponce because he's here. So they're playing the same way they have all year long. Inverted winger on the left, tucked-in guy on the right, Bassi a playmaker, Hector Herrera a free roll, and Dorsey coming late. Tell me what I'm missing here, Emilio. I don't know. I feel like you're being an apologist here a little bit. I mean, we want a deep dive on this. I get it. It's only 4 games for Ponce. I agree with you on that. But he's not getting chances. He's a center forward. Didn't we bring him here to score goals? That's what we hope. And I don't know if chance creation and quality chances has improved since he's been here. Do you? I like Anali too, yeah. I think we all like Anali. I think there's a little bit of a love fest, though, honestly. Let's be honest. We love him because he's young, he's German, he gets into it, he takes people on. Still hasn't scored a goal or created an assist. And until he does that, he's not going to become a starter. I like him too. I think unlimited potential. Interviewed him on the radio show, and he's a super kid. By the way, radio show is going to Tuesday and Wednesdays now at 6 Central. I like the pre-planned set pieces. Okay, so did I, but we didn't score. What else we got? One of them was to set up Artur, and Artur's not necessarily the goal scorer. I think we just said Anali needs to score. He's got to make plays. He's not going to get a start, I don't think. until he scores a goal or sets somebody up. Anali is a bit more hungry. Well, shouldn't everybody be off the bench when you're losing 1-0 in a key game in the year and you're going up against fatiguing defenders? I would hope you're hungry. You're professional athletes, right? I mean, why is that that shouldn't even be a conversation. I think maybe he looks to you like he's taking more people on and aggressive to go at people. And I agree with you on that, Jay Hurtado, because I don't think the Dynamo have enough players that take people on off the dribble. So I actually think that's a great point. Starting spots need to be earned. Let's start with Seba for Bassi. At least he seems like he has a bigger heart. Oh, Kovalchuk for Bassi. It's possible. 2 useless center forwards with the same. Yeah, but I think that's a little bit harsh, Corey, because I don't think the system is one that's beneficial for a center forward. You got to play with your back to goal all the time. How many chances did they have created for him? I don't know. Not sure about that. They may look like the same type of center forward. I think Ponce has a little bit more expansive game to me than Sebas Ferreira. I think he's a little bit better back to goal. I think he's better checking back into midfield. But, if you're in a system where your center forward is constantly coming back into midfield and running away from goal as opposed to running towards goal, that's an issue, I think. But it's also what you're electing to do because you have a narrow system that is based on defending. That's fair on Anali. Maybe he has issue night. No, I'm not trying to. No, I like Anali too. I think he's going to end up being excellent. But, we all got super excited because, and me too, because he takes people on off the dribble. I mean, what's more exciting in a game than that? That's what I live for that. I want to see people create. I want to see people take people on. I watch the WNBA because of Caitlin Clark, because she's got the ball and she distributes, makes differing passes, has a passing game like no other. It's interesting. I want to see Anali take people on, and I'm sure he's got a free role to do that. The ball dude looks like he sits in his car. What is that? I have no idea. Paul, stop drinking. All right, guys. Anything else before we call it a night tonight? Tough one tonight for the Dynamo. They go now to 10, 8, and 7, as Justin mentioned now. Just like that, you drop 2 spots. You're now ace. Then there is a disconnect between the manager and Onstead. They seem to be on the same page, but we don't know. We're not behind the scenes, during the roster build. All right. I don't think there's much else. Okay, Toronto FC 1-0 winners tonight here. Very, very tough. That'll do it. Dynamo dominate everything except the scoreline. Toronto's happy. 7 games to go for them. They need points in the East. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for all the good comments. We appreciate it. And till our next connection. Thanks for all the great feedback, guys. You did a good job. Appreciate it.